this wonderful topic today. So I was talking with Taja on yesterday, and I was telling her that I had went down a rabbit hole because I went and started looking up the law of polarity and how does it really relate to our lives. And then I started to go to the Newton law of motion. My sister knows about this, but she has a whole program after this. So for every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. Went there and looked at that. And then I went and I said, well, how does this relate? Where is this at in the Bible? And then it's all through the book of Ecclesiastes. You know, there's a time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to be born, and a time to die. And it goes on and on from there. And then really, when you look at this whole thing, you have to ask yourself, well, how involved is the devil in our life? Is he really, or is it really that busy in our life? Or have we created the energy and the atmosphere for this thing that is supposed to be evil or diabolical to take hold of our life? Like, what is it? What do we really know about this entity? And how involved is it in corrupting our life? Are we corrupting this life ourselves? So I'm gonna let Tasha jump in, kind of get us going.
Good morning, beautiful souls, and welcome. We are talking to you about, the polarity of our lives. Excuse me. And that polarity, I think one of the greatest polarities that come through that seems to confuse a lot of people, and they've given a lot of power and a lot of energy to something that never asked for it in the first place. And that's this devil that we speak about. Is it really as busy as we say it is? Is it really as miserable and horrible and corrupt as we say it is? And so I wanted to, we wanted to speak to you about the busyness. And is the devil really that busy in your life? Or are you just giving him a lot more power? Because I listen to a lot of people speak. And as I listen to them speak, I'm always seeing that people are looking for some sort of excuse, some sort of reason, I gotta give somebody the power over me. Whether it's the systems that we've built, this energy called the devil that has so much power and is so busy that we forgot about the power of ourselves. We forgot about the power that truly sits in us and the divinity that we have, and that we have full dominion and control over all things. And this is something that I think a lot of us forget. And so the question comes up, and it's going to keep coming up. Is the devil really that busy? And Tanya's nicer than me, because my question was, is the devil really busy, or are you just that lazy? And why I asked that question was because there's so many people giving all of this power to this thing. But then I always keep asking, what's God doing then? What are you doing? What's happening in your world that this thing is so busy and has so much power over you? What are you doing? What are you doing to make a change? What are you doing to add something? What are you doing? Because this thing can't be busier than you when you have dominion over all things. And then just in the starting of this topic, just helping you to recognize that you have power, just helping you to recognize that no devil could be busy in your life because it is the way you live. Let's play on words for a minute. Spell devil backward. It is the way you've lived. And so from all the things that you've done, all the thoughts that you've had, all the things that you've said, the emotions that you let have, the things that you said about he, she, them, and the things that you said about yourself, they do have weight in your life. And they do come back to tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, remember me? Remember when you were in this destructive mode in your life? Now that you're moving past it, doesn't mean that I'm not going to come up still to help you to recognize that I'm still there. And if you really want to elevate in your life, I got to come out. If you really want to do something amazing in your life, I got to show up. And so it is the way we've lived that creates the discord in our life. And then when we just look at the word evil, it's how we live that creates all of these entities that we call demons and devils in our lives. And so I ask you to go back and really look. Is the devil really that busy? Or have you gotten that lazy with yourself that you forgot that it is you that is in control here? And that's what I got to say to you for right now. While I give it back to Tanya, because you see, I know I could go in.
That's all right, because sometimes we need that. We definitely need it. And the last few weeks, we have pretty much have been talking about personal responsibility and holding ourselves accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we were talking about, we started off with the whole Jesus didn't die for our sins and that kind of thing. And pretty much just to bring awareness that we have more power, we have more free will and authority in this earthly realm than what we show that we do. And we have to use that. And when I was looking at the whole law of polarity, everything has an opposite. There's dark, there's light, there's love, there's hate, there's a positive and a negative to every aspect of our lives. When you look at the Big Bang Theory, we're talking about the creation of the earth. As the scientists see it, the Big Bang Theory, there was destruction before there was creation. When you look at Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
from the biblical point of view, darkness was here before there was light. So even though we have all of these things that we go through on this earth, we have to understand they're going to be there. Me and Tasha was speaking earlier, how sometimes things have to be torn down before they can be built up. So when we have some type of consciousness of what this all means, and then we also add in that personal responsibility that we have on this earth, then we can begin to see some things change and manifest in our lives. And we don't always have to blame an entity. Now, granted, yes, there is evil. We recognize there's evil. Taja and I are spiritual conduits. So we have seen this evil. We have felt this evil. So we know it exists. But when you're looking at the polar sides of things, you're looking at the negative and you're looking at the positive. So if you see that on the line and you see someone who they are carrying more darkness and evil in their spirit, they are further down on that negative pole.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow you have to balance. So when you get into talking about possession and all those types of things, that person needs to come back into alignment and they need to come back into balance. And they may need to pull more from the opposite end of light to get them to that balance. Mm-hmm. But in our everyday life and struggle, Everybody's not possessed. So in our everyday life and struggles, we need to understand the law of polarity. That's why it's there. That law of polarity is there to teach us and let us know that darkness is not going anywhere. It's going to be here. It was here first. So how are we going to live our life? How are we going to find that equal balance in the middle? So for instance, when you're looking at the negative sides of a person's personality, in that moment, a person may be angry, so mad they feel like they can kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They are further down on that negative end of the spectrum. On the opposite end is love. We all are going to feel anger and hatred towards something. So we have to find that middle ground. What is that middle ground? So if you're mad at somebody because I don't know if you're an animal lover, if you're mad because you saw on the news somebody did something awful or killed a dog or something, you're going to feel so angry. You might feel like you want to kill that person. But a nice balance to come together would be advocacy, right?
Mhm.
There's a balance. You don't have to kill nobody, but you can go out here and advocate for the things that you love and you're passionate about. That's where that balance comes in at.
Yep.
You can't be too good and you can't be too evil. You have to come somewhere in the middle, because sometimes when you're too good, you could suffer also. And you see that a lot with people. You say, well, this person was the best person. How could this happen to them? Because somewhere in the middle, you got to have some fight about yourself. And sometimes you might have to pull some of that negative, bring in that positive so you can reach right there in the middle to handle your business and do what you need to do. So that law of polarity is serious. That law of polarity will help you look deeper and say, okay, well, it's not always the devil riding my back. Now, like I said, if you get too far on the negative and you start pulling in some evil entities, oh yeah, they're going to be on you. But that's why that balance is something serious. Even when you're looking at your pH balance, right? Some people may think, well, yeah, I'm gonna get more alkaline. I want to be more alkaline than I am acidic. True indeed. But that pH balance right there in the middle, the balance is where you need to be, because even if you go too far on the alkaline side, there's a disease that you can get from that.
Mm-hmm.
If you pull more on the acidic, you know about the acidic, you can become diseased if you have an acidic body. But a lot of people don't realize if you pull more on the alkaline and you're out of that pH, you're out of that pH balance, you can also become diseased. So everything in life is about that happy medium. Too much of anything is bad for you.
Yep.
If you're too good on the want to do everything right, God, I don't want to sin no more. Well, guess what? You may sin more.
Yep.
You may do more of what you don't want. So with everything, we have to have a balance. And with everything, we have to make that conscious decision that this is how I'm going to do things. I'm more in control of this than some entity. God gave me power and dominion while I'm on this earth. So I'm more in control. I'm not going to give the devil any credit or any of my energy. So when you hear people say, oh, the devil is busy, well, you're allowing him to be that busy in your life. You're feeding the ego of the entity that doesn't have to do anything because you just gave them all the power. That entity doesn't have to do a thing. So I digress for right now. Tasha, I'll give it back to you.
Oh, I see there's some fire in this room. Okay. That's why we're called TNT. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some dynamite up in this place. Let me tell you. Hey, I was listening to you talking, Tonya, and, I want to break some things down a little bit. When we speak about, that energy, because, there's an energy here. And so if we're energetic beings, go stick your finger in a socket, see you get electrocuted, you'll know you're an energetic being. You'll know that you are a conductor, right? And being a conductor, right? When this energy of Satan, Lucifer, devil, all this energy came up, it came up to test your wisdom. Because if you go back, and I mean, look, if you look at it from different texts, right? If you look at it from different energies, this thing was created perfect in beauty and wisdom. And the two things that's plaguing humanity right now is beauty and wisdom. Why? Why is that plaguing us as humanity? This is why we've given so much power to this thing, because that beauty is, you're not seeing the grace and the glory that's you. You're not seeing the magnificence that's you. You're not seeing the intellect and the ancient knowledge that's you. You're not seeing the knowingness of your spirit. You're not seeing that. And so the beauty that is you, you're trying to pick it apart. You're trying to get taller, skinnier. You're trying to get blacker, whiter. You're trying to do everything else but just be yourself. You're trying to run the race, according to Oprah or Jordan or whoever the hell else you feel like, Tony down the street because he doing better than you, or you hate your neighbor because his grass always seems to be green, and no matter what you do, yours is a little bit rusty looking. All of these things have allowed these energies to create the negativity that we see now. This heaviness and that side of the pole that pulls you into a state, because I can't call it a state of darkness either, because within darkness, within your own mind, when you close your eyes and when you truly allow yourself to connect, you can see everything in that state of darkness. So it's not the darkness. I'm not pulling the darkness and saying, oh, well, the light is good and the dark is bad. No, we have to allow ourselves to move in the alignment of all things. When you start to move in the alignment of all things, you see where closing your eyes have a benefit while opening it has one as well. You'll see that within this realm that you have to go into yourself. In order to go into yourself, you have to go into the complete nothingness that is, because you have to go into your inner self. You have to go in where somewhere that you cannot see. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. You can vibrate it. There's a wisdom within you that just knows it. And so it's not about attributing something and saying, okay, well, look, all these demons and no. This is about human responsibility, baby. It's about human responsibility. You are an energy source. If you are pumping some bullshit, and I'm being real about it, if you out there and you cussing everybody, you understand everybody's horrible. What do you think the polarity of what you're bringing through is? And you're bringing that energy into the world. And so while you might be looking for some spiritual devil to come and show up, you are doing just fine on your own. I tell people, I say a gun has never killed nobody. What? How could you say that? No, a gun never killed anybody. It was the man who made the decision behind it that was the destroyer. He had to pick up the gun. He had to load them bullets in there. He had to go. He had to think. He had to see it. He had to feel it. He had to become the energy source of it in order for it to manifest. Because I've seen myself shooting a few people before. Yes, I have. And some people that I definitely want to just pop, pop, hit your ass. But do I pick up that gun? Do I put those bullets in? Do I go to you and make that action? No. And so, yeah, all of it starts right here. It all starts off right here. And who's that? That's you. That ain't no devil. That's your ass. It's you making the decisions. It's you making the decision to lie. It's you making the decision to scheme. It's you making the decision to steal and rape and molest and abuse. It's not no devil doing it. It's how we live, how we are choosing to live without any responsibility or accountability or responsibility for what we brought into being. And then here's why the devil could be so busy in somebody else's life. Remember, we're energy, right? Now, if I'm sitting down there and Tanya's sitting down there and me and her are throwing some energy at one of y'all and we're like, oh, I hope she fall. I hope he fall. I hope he run into a brick wall. And I've shown people this experiment where me and you are sitting down and we're watching somebody and we're like, yo, push the energy on this person falling. Push the energy on this person. And we start to push the energy. And I'm just like, just keep saying, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. You're going to fall. And sure enough, within a minute, every single time it works. Within at least 60 seconds, that person trips, stumbles, skips, or something. So imagine just two can carry that kind of weight. Imagine how we are now as collectives, how we are as collectives against races, against genders, against backgrounds, against your orientations, against all of these things. Look at all the collective. If two could make you stumble, imagine when 100 is in unison. Imagine when 1,000 or 1,000,000, and there's billions of us on this planet. So I want you to know it's not no devil that's busy. It's you. You are the creator of all of this. And do I say that I'm innocent? Oh no, I throw no stones, because like I told you, there was a point in time where I didn't see nothing good for humanity. And I was really praying on a daily basis that this shit goes all to hell and blows the fuck up. So it coming to the point that it came to, can I say that I'm innocent? No, I cannot, because I've definitely helped in many times in adding to the pot that we're dealing with right now. Now, is that some devil that did it? Is some devil that coaxed me and said, oh, no, no. It's the rage that I sometimes hold in myself that I have to be accountable for. Sometimes it's the self-abuse that I put on that I have to be accountable for. You understand? It's all those things that you have to be accountable for, because here's the thing. You're exuding that out on other people. You're exuding it on other people. And then we talk about this devil. No, there's no devil here. It is only us, y'all. We're the ones cutting down the trees. We're the ones pissing in the water. We're the ones doing it all. And so I want us to take an accountability, a responsibility, and start to use a little bit of sensibility and regain our power. It is not your government. It is not your husband, your wife. It is not your church. It is not no devil. It is all the decisions that you're choosing to make on how you think, you speak, and how you choose to live. And if you can get yourself right with any of those and really just look at it for real and understand your own anger, understand your own hurts, understand why they come up, what are they saying to you? What can you do to make a difference because they're here now? If you start to do something like that, then you'll start to see how busy you really are. And there's no devil that's doing you wrong. We are doing it. We have to start taking way more accountability. You know, when we talked about Jesus dying for our sins, we told you, no, he didn't die for our sins. He died because of them. And then we manifested this whole devil, and this devil's laughing at us. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's laughing because he's like, look at these people. They were created also perfect in wisdom and beauty, and yet they're throwing it away and they want to claim it on me, the bringer of the blessing. Get the hell out of here. You know, we could talk about, remember, Tanya, I was telling you, I was like, the devil ain't the only one that be busy. They forget that Archangel Michael, he's the one that takes care of technology. You know how many times Michael has wiped out my screen already? You know how many times he's wiped out all my work? I know, I know I have a friend of ours, Natalie, she was just like, everything wiped out, gone, can't recover. We got to start all over again. Now, why do you think these energies come and do these things? Because it's time for us to realign ourselves. Raphael, he's the angel of healing, but he'll also come and make you fall and stub your toe. He'll make you feel sick. He'll allow that energy inside of you to fester. He'll allow it until you call on it and say, hey, you know what, Raphael, bring me some healing. Until you start changing your mind, start changing your attitude, until you start shifting something. There's a myriad out there, a myriad of help, a myriad of support. And even though they might say the devil is real busy, he's not as busy as you are in creating all the schemes and tricks and things that you've now given him power to be able to utilize and play with. So think about it like that.
Absolutely. And while you were talking, I was thinking a lot about people in their own households. When people make a conscious decision and say, I want to change some things in my life, so therefore I have to change some things in my household.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing that people do in their own personal life? They start pruning. They start getting rid of people. In their household, they start getting rid of people. They start tearing it down. And when you make that decision, and when you are really serious about that decision, you want to go real hardcore, you'll tear the whole thing down. You'll burn the whole thing down.
Yep.
And then you'll start to build it back up. And that's just how life works. That's why we have seasons. In seasons, you see the leaves fall. If the leaves begin to die, you see them fall off, and then you see new leaves emerge and grow. With every season, there's death and there's life. Life comes right in behind death. When you have loved ones that pass away, next thing you know, somebody in the family's pregnant, bringing in new life.
Yep.
New and emerging generations. You see the old generations fall off, die off, and then you see the younger come up and emerge. That is a part of life. It's the seasons. So that law of polarity is real and is set forth for us to pay attention to. And oftentimes we suffer so much because we want to, like Tauja mentioned, we want to give up all our power. Mm-hmm. There is nothing more powerful. When you got here on this earth, you became equipped with everything that you needed in this life. And when God gave you that authority, and then you call yourself, you say, I am in the image of God, what is greater than you?
Yep.
You have the backing of the most powerful source in this universe. And while you're here on earth, what is greater than you? You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, you have that spiritual force within yourself to create, to destroy. Wherever there's peace, there may have to be some war. You are both, actually. So when you try your hardest, and we say it every day, we be like, Lord, I be trying my best to do right, but somebody's always provoking me and get me all out of order. Well, you're getting yourself out of order, one. But sometimes you have to have things to happen to you to find, so that you'll know if you pass that test or not. Baby. So if you're putting it out there in the atmosphere, God, I want to work on my temper. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be tested.
Child,
if you have road rage and you wake up that morning during your meditation, be like, Lord, just please help me work on my temper. Guess what's going to happen when you get in that car on the way to work?
Yeah.
It's going to seem like everybody driving on that road, you're going to you're gonna feel like you want to ram your car into them because they won't get out the way. And before you know it, all of that peace and love is out the door. Or you can say, you know what? I recognize this. I am not going to allow these people to get on my nerves today. I'm gonna let this is gonna float and flow off of me. You pass that test.
Yep.
So oftentimes when we get these things and you be like, wait a minute, the opposite is happening here. I want this to happen. I want something positive to happen. So why is the negative happening? The negative has to happen in order for you to realize the positive, or in order for you to manifest that positive.
Yes.
I don't like it myself. I hate that it's that way, but it's that way. We're not going to get rid of the darkness. So we're all going to have to learn how to find that balance.
And don't look at the darkness.
And, just with my meditation, and yeah, don't look at it as something that's going to take you under. Yeah. You need to look at it as something that's going to give you a teachable moment, something that's going to push you forward. If anybody, I've never been in the military, but you guys, if you've been in the military, what I do know is they have a boot camp. And when you go to boot camp, they're not giving you a plate of chocolate chip cookies and smiling and being all nice to you. They're like tearing you down, almost stripping you of your manhood or your womanhood, to build you up and strengthen you and to make you stronger. When you play on athletic teams, those coaches are not the nicest. They're not saying, oh, come on, it's okay. You fell or you didn't catch the ball. Oh, it's all right. You'll get it next time. What are they doing? They're usually cussing them out.
Yep,
they're usually going off to strengthen you. So as unfortunate as it is, you have to have that negative or that positive to react.
Yeah.
And just during this, this whole time, and opening myself up more spiritually and just being able to communicate with the other side, they are showing that we have had it wrong all along. All of this, oh, peace and love, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and no more war. It's just not possible. Like
Until
I
we
said,
get
you
it
have
together
to
in
have,
ourselves, it's an impossibility. It's not the external things. It is us.
It's us.
The war ground is here. It's us. We are the heaven and the earth, people. We are heaven and earth. We were never told about a hell, and yet we created one. And we live more in that hell than we do in that heaven. And all we have to do is just really look at ourselves and take a true account, and then we'll be good. Because you're manifesting it. No matter how you want to run away from it, you are the creator of your life. And nothing really truly has control over you until you give it. So when you look at darkness and light, good and bad, and love and hate, and the one thing that you'll know is that there's always a lesson in the two. You will always gain something if you just pay attention. And so again, this devil that they speak about, it's supposed to be wisdom and beauty. And so if you can allow yourself to tap into the wisdom, all of a sudden you see the beauty. Because you start to recognize that you are the one that's making all of this. The road rage, the traffic, the bad relationships, everything. You are the one in control. And so there is no thing that's coming to harm you, to hurt you, to torture you, to bring you into a state of hell. Nothing. It's what you've chosen to accept for yourself. What you said, I'm worthy of. And that's what you're getting. So if you look at your business, your relationships, your health, your freedom, and you said someone else has power over you, then you've already given it away. So it's not a devil. It is you. And as much as we don't want to admit it, as much as we may not want to admit it, it is not the outside that is affecting you. It is the inside that you've let go all the way awry. When you stop giving yourself power, when you stop taking account for your actions, when you stop being in control of your breath and your words and your thoughts, when you stop and you say, you know what, it's this person's fault or that person's fault. It's the wind, it's the sun, it's the moon, it's the stars, it's everybody else's responsibility, but the one that you have to take for yourself. You can create all kinds of darkness for yourself, all kinds of hell for yourself, or all kinds of heaven and light. It's up to you. And you know, it's something that I realized that we got real confused when we talked about darkness, when we talked about being devoid of light. We took that and we made it into a bad thing. We took that and we made it into something that we don't have power in. But I want you to know, on the most cloudiest day, on the darkest of nights, if you notice, if you look up right, the sun is always shining. And we always have light in every single element of our lives. A blind man still can see. It's up to you to utilize the power inside of you, to connect with the vibrations that we are. If you can connect with that truth inside of you right now, you will see just how busy you've been in giving your power away. You'll see it. I know I had to take account of it at one point, and when I did, everything changed. Because I realized in every ounce of lack or thing, I can go back and look at a time where I opened my mouth on it, where I had a thought or a feeling about it, and then take the responsibility to do something to change it. And if you're not willing to change it, then you're going to get sucked under. And I think about that change, and I think about the pestilence that's roaming this world right now, this plague that has hit humanity. And this one that is hitting us in the face right now was called Delta. And Delta means change, difference. It means going from small bodies into one whole. And so if you look at the messages that are always being given to us, it's not a devil that's creating this. It is us who are allowing ourselves to finally wake up and see the power that we have. And we've created this thing to bring ourselves into a state of freedom. And so if we could just stop running around like chickens with their heads cut off with no understanding and acting like we're just powerless, then you'll start to see just what you came here to do and nothing else. And that's my spiel for y'all today on this wonderful, amazing Sunday that has just awakened so much. And if you could just give yourself just that extra today to see your power and to see who you really are and to see your true dominion over your life, then it was all worth it. And thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in with us. And as always, Tauja and I are here to tell you the truth. We've been blessed with, took us a while to realize it was a blessing, but we've been blessed with, spiritual gifts so that we can get this type of insight, because we're not here to tell y'all lies and give y'all information that we don't receive straight from the spiritual realm. And we're here to see you win. The spiritual realm on the other side, your guardian angels, your guides, the higher power source guide, they want to see you win on this stratosphere that we call Earth. And they provide us with so much. Like Tauja said, we have so much support from that realm. And they want to see us win. We're here to learn lessons and teach lessons. And they want us to accomplish that so we can have greater within our spirits. Because when we drop the physical body and then we're floating around in our spiritual selves, it is what we have learned here on Earth. It is the information, the love that we build, the lessons that we learn. That's what's going to keep our spirits flowing in that next life. And so as we end, like Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror, sometimes we got to look at the man in the mirror. So I was just sitting here thinking, Tauja, as people do take a look at themselves, what is like a good affirmation for them to use?
Well, you know what? A good affirmation, and it's funny, I just put it on a t-shirt yesterday. And so it's pretty simple, and it'll get you back into a state that you need to be in. And that is, I am the kingdom.
Powerful.
I am royalty. I think most of us forgot that we were the kingdom. We forgot that we were the ones that came here to bring the message, to bring the word. We're the ones doing it all, correct? And so you are the kingdom here. And there's nothing higher than you. There's nothing that you have to look to. There's nothing that you have to change or fix or become something different or new to be who it is that you came here to be. You are the kingdom. You are the builder and destroyer of your very own life, if you look at it. So, we have to allow ourselves to know that we are the kingdom here. We have dominion over all things. We're the ones that are building this world up, and we're the ones that are breaking it down. We're doing that within ourselves, and we're doing that within each other. And so if you could just start to recognize that you are the kingdom and that you have an opportunity to do something so great with being here and having that power inside of you to be able to make all the magnificent changes that you came here to make, you will start to see that you are royalty as well. And then when you put on your crown, it will start to not feel heavy. It will start to, not bend your neck and break your back. but it will start to feel like something that is part of you. That when you lift your head up high and you speak your affirmations out into the world, you will know that you are sure about what you speak and that you came here to exude that without all the other stuff. You understand? Without all the other things that you have created within yourself to take that dominion off of you. If you have dominion over all things, that means that you have a kingdom that you are in charge of. And that kingdom is you. Now, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to bring yourself to the table? Are you going to keep bringing yourself as a victim? Are you going to keep bringing yourself as some destroyer? Or are you going to do yourself right and in turn, give me the love too? Because the one thing I learned about a kingdom is that there are many kingdoms out there. You understand? If we look at our earth, you can see it in just the way we move. There is kingdoms out there. And when you are moving righteous with your kingdom, then everyone loves you. And they will fight for you. And they will do you right. And so that's that affirmation that I think you should hold. And use it and do something amazing with it.
That is awesome. I am the king. I am the kingdom. So I want everybody to just kind of get relaxed and get into a calm space. I'm going to play a little music. And I want you all to think about just what was discussed today. And to make a declaration that you're not going to allow that the devil to be busy in your life, that we're going to make a declaration to take some personal responsibility for ourselves and our actions. So as you are listening to this music, I just want you to relax your mind, your body, and your spirit. I want you to think about the affirmation for today. I am the kingdom. So close your eyes and think of that. I am the kingdom. With I am being your connection to that higher power, source, God. I am the kingdom. I hold the power of God. I came equipped to this earth to carry out the purpose and the plans that God has laid for me, to learn lessons and to teach lessons. I align my energy to what is good, what is great, and what is love, the power of God. Understanding that there are negative forces, there's a positive and a negative to everything we do in this life. And making a declaration that even when those negative elements begin to manifest itself in my life, that I'm not going to give into it. But what am I going to learn from it? I'm going to bring balance, wholeness, and fullness to my life. Allowing the power of God, my higher power, my creator, to be that driving force in my life, and understanding that it's me. What can I change? God has given me dominion and power to walk and grace this earth What am I going to do with that dominion and power? So as we bring this session for today to a close, we're going to end it with peace, understanding that sometimes war comes in before the peace, but we're going to end in peace. We're going to end in love. We're going to walk in the fullness of God designed for this day today and honor ourselves and those who are around us. And as you come back to, as I count back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's give thanks and gratitude for everything. For everything is a lesson. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Different time zones, so whether you're ending the day or beginning the day, enjoy it.